Have you ever booked a gig only to realize the contract paid you an exposure or dropped a track that blew up and then spent months chasing the royalties? Yeah, we've all been there. This is the flip side, where we pull back the curtain on the music industry's messy, unglamorous, and vitally important admin chaos. I'm Matty Flip, and trust me, this isn't the stuff they teach you in music school. Welcome to the very first episode of The Flip Side. I'm your host, Matty Flip. I'm a former DJ of 15 years and current artist manager at Smile Mah Records and your new guide to the wild world of music behind the scenes. No guest today, just you, me, and a deep dive into why this podcast exists. Let's flip the script. So, who am I? Who is Matty Flip? So I was a DJ for 15 years in New Jersey, mostly in the Monmouth and Ocean County area. Spent a lot of time DJing for beer and pizza and doing, gigs for friends for years, and then got into the karaoke scene and nightclub mixing. I taught myself how to do that. And just learned. Like, I just became like a sponge, and I wanted to learn as much as I could. So, I ended up starting to throw club nights with some friends, some DJ friends of mine around the Monmouth University area that were great. And then, I realized that I needed to make flyers. So I was like, well, I need to learn how to do some graphic design. So, I ended up, going to school online at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh for graphic design and learning how to make flyers and posters and stuff like that. So I just wanted to make my business better, and I wanted it to run fluidly, and I wanted to do a lot of it myself because I couldn't really pay anybody else to do it. So it kind of like it just came out of necessity. And then over the years, I got, I was booked at like 5 different bars on different nights. I had a residencies in a few places in Asbury Park. And I did my thing for like 15 years, man. And then fast forward to like today, working for Smile Mah Records and working as an artist manager, both independently as well as with the label. I've been working with my good friend Mike Manick over the last year and a half on artist development, and also helping him with registering his music properly. I started reading over like the contracts for the beat licenses and stuff that he was purchasing, and I realized there was a lot of fishy stuff in the licenses. Like, there's a limitation of 10 years and you got to renew it, and there's no guarantee it's going to be the same price when you go to renew it. Sometimes they limit you on how many radio stations you can put your song on. They also limit you from sync licensing in some of the contracts. So you got to be careful and read these licensing agreements that you get from places like BeatStars and, YouTube beats and stuff like that. So just be weary and read the contracts because it might come back to bite you in the ass later on. Let's get real for a second. The music industry loves its myths. The overnight success, the creative genius who doesn't need a team, the just focused on your art and the money will follow nonsense. Spoiler, it won't. I started the flip side because I feel like artists deserve to know how this machine actually works. Whether you're an indie musician, a producer, or just a fan who loves behind-the-scenes drama, this show's for you. We're talking about sync deals gone wrong, contract clauses that'll make your head spin, and how to budget a tour without ending up stranded in Nebraska. And hey, if you're thinking, but Matty, I'm here for the music, not the paperwork, I get it. That's why we'll balance the gritty business talk with stories from the trenches. Think of this as part masterclass, part therapy session. So when I first started working with Mike, he had gone viral on TikTok a few years prior for a song that he did, uh, and he kind of got thrown into the music industry like really fast. Like he used the opportunity to start financing his music career and really doing what he loved, and kind of overlooked the administrative side of things. Didn't really read the contracts. He thought, which most artists will think, if I purchase an unlimited license, then that means I can use it for unlimited purposes, right? Which isn't true. You have to read the contracts very closely. You also have like producer splits that you have to give to your PROs. So a PRO is a performing rights organization like BMI or ASCAP. You also want to register your music with the MLC and Sound Exchange. These are how you collect your royalties, and I'll go into depth about this more on other episodes. But a lot of these things are what artists tend to overlook when they're first getting started in the music industry and trying to make a career out of their music. And it's very important to do these things so that you can collect your royalties. So after reading these contracts, I kind of again became a sponge, engulfed myself into learning more about it and helping my friend, really get himself set up properly so that he can make a career out of his music, which is what his dream is. Now with Smile Mah Records, which Half Deezy is the owner and CEO of Smile Mah Records. He's also a good friend of mine, and he asked me to come onto the team and help him with licensing his artist's music. So my main focus with them isn't necessarily a lot of that administrative stuff. The artists that are under the label kind of manage that themselves. They understand the importance of it, so they tend to handle that on their own. But what I focus on is pitching music for sync licensing, radio, college radio, and getting their music out there. Also securing podcasts, marketing with editorial posts on magazine websites. These are all the things that I do for the artists that work for the label. So I want to try to take a lot of the knowledge that I've learned over the last year and that I'm continuing to learn as I grow in this space. Because as I said, I've only been doing this for about a year and a half, going on about 2 years now. I know that I have a lot to learn, but I've also learned a lot over the last 2 years that I would love to share with you guys. So what do we got coming up on the flip side? We're going to be doing artist deep dives, having conversations with musicians, lawyers, and execs about their wins, regrets, and what the fuck moments. If you work in any sector of the music industry and you'd like to be on my show, please shoot me an email at mattyfliptv@gmail.com. Admin toolkits, basically how-tos on reading royalty statements, registering your copyrights, and building a brand that doesn't rely on TikTok luck. We'll also be doing rapid fire Q&A, so we'll take questions from you guys, the listeners, and give them to our guests here on the show. Your questions answered, no jargon, no bullshit. So if any of this resonated with you, or even if you're just mildly curious, hit that subscribe button. Leave a review or DM me on Instagram at Matty Flip TV and tell me your worst admin horror story, and I might feature it on my show. And to all the artists listening, keep making the art. I'll handle the paperwork. This is Matty Flip signing off. Remember, success isn't just talent. It's knowing what's on the flip side.